Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we've got some interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about. There is some crazy stuff coming very soon. We're a couple days away from the biggest Magic announcements, potentially, well, of this year for sure, potentially, of the last few years. There's some huge panels going to be happening at MagicCon, so I'm incredibly excited. So this is happening on the Friday the 25th. It's going to be the 26th here on the Saturday. Currently, we have very little information about what's happening next year, right? Like, we know what the sets are and the themes, or we've had like one piece of concept art for each of them, but we don't even know the name of like the set that's coming in February, right? That's like, what, 3 months away now, and we don't even know the name of the set for it, which is very odd. It's very hype. Like, I'm so excited for it. Not necessarily for the Death Race set, but the ones beyond that, I think nearly every other set after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm there for. So last year it was interesting. We had the full slate for 2024 at August 2023 at Gen Con. They announced it with the big kind of, or was it the 30 year of Magic thing that they talked about there. However, Foundations was not announced there, but you guys knew that Foundations or something similar was coming if you had been subscribed back then, because we talked about the secret set way back. I think it was like August of this year. No, like it was before it was announced, quite a bit before it was announced. We talked about it here, that there was going to be something like that happening. I think I theorized that it might have been Commander Masters or Commander Legends or something like that, and then talked about, that it might be Jumpstart or something. But yeah, obviously that ended up happening, so that was pretty exciting as well. So first, before we get into completely everything, make sure you guys subscribe. Every time this kind of stuff, these announcements happen, I'm on top of it. I had this one here out within 40 minutes of this stuff all being announced. I will summarize it all. I will take this whole hour, 2-hour thing. I'll condense it down. I will show you what's important. I will take you through what's important, because that's what I like to do. And it helps it helps me enjoy it, as well as it helps you guys get all the information that you want about everything that gets revealed and stuff. So what we know so far, at the moment, we've got February 7th, we're going to be having Death Rates. Now, I've put in italics and this weird greeny blue color. These are the ones that names are not set yet. The names we don't know. We don't know that the Final Fantasy one's going to actually be called Final Fantasy. We can guess that it is, and they've announced that it is a Final Fantasy crossover, but the Marvel one ended up being different. So February 7th, we got Death Race. April 4th, we've got Return to Tarkir. Q2, so that's, between April and July, like the start of July, end of June. We've got Final Fantasy somewhere in there. I'm going to guess that's going to be around June or end of May. Q3, we've got Space Opera. And that's literally what they've said. It's just called Space Opera at the moment. Like that, if you think of Space Opera, it's like, Star Wars, that kind of stuff. And they've shown aliens and space and planets and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of fits into the Magic lore. These ones are Magic, within Magic Universe. So then we've got Q4, we've got Return to Lorwyn, and then finally sometime in 2025 we've got the Spider-Man set. So if we kind of take it as it is, most likely the Spider-Man set is either between these two or after Lorwyn, right? Like, I think that we'd probably get Lorwyn last, which I think means Spider-Man's in here. And this one here is most likely going to be like a modern legal set. Same with the Final Fantasy one. We know that these are all the full sets as well. We don't have any kind of auxiliary products announced at the moment. Like, you think like Fallout kind of stuff. Or there's also going to be at the start here a remastered set, I think. Wow, am I like completely blanking out on the remastered set next year? I think I am. I swear there was like a remastered set at the start of the year. Innistrad Remastered, yeah, in January. So I completely missed that one in there. These are the full sets. So Innistrad Remastered here. We've got Death Race. We've got Return to Tarkir, Final Fantasy, Space Opera, Return to Lorwyn, and then Marvel Spider-Man, probably sometime in here. No kind of... There's going to be some kind of Universe Beyond Commander product, most likely. I couldn't see them not doing that. Although then again, there's two, like these two will both have commander products as well. So 2024, we've got Death Race, multi-planar race. So we don't know the name of it. We know that it is a race taking place across 3 different planes using Omnipaths to go between them. 2 planes that haven't been featured that have been featured that have never been revisited, and then a 3rd plane that's never been featured, only seen within a set. And we do know that there is only going to be 2 commander precons from that. We know this information from the Ultra Pro listings. They only listed 2 commander like box, I think it was the boxes or the playmats. I think it might have been both, actually. So there's likely only 2 commander precons. We've got Return to Tarkir in April. So it's going to be combining the best features of Khans and Dragons of Tarkir. It will include dragons and ending of the Dragon Storm arc. So that's the big storyline that we're going through at the moment, the end of that, which will be very weird to see how that goes. After Ugin left Tarkir, Dragon Storms on the plane have gone out of control in combination with the new formed Omen Path. This has resulted in Tarkir dragons appearing on other planes. We've seen them in Bloomburrow. We've kind of seen a projection of them in Duskmorn. And assumably, we'll see some in, the Death Race set as well. There's going to be 5 commander precons there, actually, which is interesting. 1 for each of the original clans. So, like, we've got Abzan, Jeskai, etc. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how that goes, especially because it's meant to have both the dragons and the Khans in it. And we know from the ending of the March of Machines, the dragons and Khans were kind of working together a little bit, or the former Khans were working together a little bit. So maybe we'll see something like that where they kind of put aside their differences and working together more. We've got the return, the Universes Beyond Final Fantasy. So this is a crossover with Final Fantasy, a full Lord of the Rings with boosters kind of set with feature reference will feature references from all of the main games as well, so from the first main game up to 16. Also, I believe that there was confirmed 4 commander precons for this one too, so we're going to obviously get commander precons there. We've got Space Opera later that year in Q3, located in outer space. It's the beginning of the 3rd and final arc in the overall story that spans Sin's Woe. So the Omen Path kind of big arc. So there's like one big arc, right, that's made up of like 3 smaller arcs, and this is the 3rd smaller arc here. So there's going to be aliens and different planets that are shown throughout the concept art that you can see over here as well. The volleyball here is like the inside a code name essentially for it. We've got Return to Lorwyn going to be happening Q4. So that's Return to Lorwyn / Shadowmoor. New design sensibility though, similar to, like, think about how Kamigawa Neon Dynasty kind of took the whole like Kamigawa inspired kind of area and then updated it to be like more modern, and it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be used modern design technology. So that does not mean modern like technology like guns and TVs and that kind of stuff. It just means modern design for technology, so how they design stuff nowadays, but still have nostalgia for those people who love what they loved about that world. So it's going to have goblins, Kithkin, fairies, and elves all confirmed to return to. This is probably the one that I'm most excited for, to see how exactly they go about it, because I think like Kamigawa is a very interesting one where you look at the OG Kamigawa set, then you look at the new one, you can see the inspiration between the two, but they're very different, and I kind of like that whole like cyberpunkish kind of stuff from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I hope they don't do exactly the same kind of thing, but I'll be interested to see how they go about it. And then we've got Marvel's Spider-Man. Yes, it's a full set around Spider-Man. So this is the first of several Magic the Gathering sets for Marvel. They're working with Marvel Comics, so not as MCU. However, obviously the comics kind of started reflecting the MCU a little bit, so just kind of keep that in mind, that there will be some MCU-inspired stuff there, but it is going to be primarily comic book based. It's led by Mark Rosewater, who loves Marvel, and it's themed specifically around Spider-Man. So, this is going to be a full set too. So boosters, commander products, etc. Similar to like the Lord of the Rings one. Well, this is the one that I'm actually most excited for, obviously. I absolutely love Marvel and stuff. So I'm very, very excited for this. Those are the like sets that are coming. Obviously, you know, Innistrad Remastered, I'm not going to talk about that, but that's just reprinting stuff from Innistrad, similar to like the Dominaria one and etc. Did I say Innistrad? Yeah, Remastered. Yeah, I was right. So as for what's going to be announced this weekend, we've got a number of different panels, actually. So starting on Friday at 1 p.m., we've got the Mana stage. So prepare for Magic's next 30 years. This is the next 30 years that they're planning and showing some stuff for. They're not going to obviously go, you know, this is 2025, 2026, 2027, etc., etc. But they are going to be talking about like the next era. So they're going to announce stuff obviously from next year here, as well as probably stuff from the year after, etc. Many of the minds behind Magic's next great era are all gathering on one stage to look ahead, not just to next year, but a vision of the future. This is the can't miss panel of 2024 and will set the stage for both the years to come and the Foundations preview panel to follow. So if you don't know how Foundations is meant to work, it's meant to essentially be this evergreen set for the next 5 years. Well, I say evergreen, but for the next 5 years, it's meant to be standard legal, potentially beyond that. They said, you know, they're leaving it open to beyond that as well, but it is meant to be like setting the next 5 years of standard up. So this obviously will be very similar, where you're kind of setting up the next few years of Magic and everything. So we'll probably get similar to what we got when it was the Gen Con announcement, where they announced everything from 2024. So this is, keep in mind, this was August 2023. They announced everything from 2024. Then they announced the sets that are coming in 2025 and 2026, I believe. You know, kind of going more in depth, obviously, to the closest ones and like, you know, the names and stuff like that, but saying like, here is the wrestling and it's going to be themed around space opera, and here's a piece of art and stuff. So, you know, we'll get a bit of information about not next year, the year after. So we'll get a bit of information about 2026, a lot of information about 2025. So just kind of keep that in mind. We've then got the Foundations panel happening after that. So that's half an hour after that on the Mana stage as well. So I will again synergize this. Well, I will summarize this for you guys. So this one here is going to be diving into new cards, as well as discussing why they did cards and what cards they did. And, you know, this is meant to be a mixture between 50% reprints and 50% new cards in the Foundation set. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And then also on Saturday, they're going to be having another one on the Secret Lair Marvel Super Drop. Now, I don't know if this is going to be going over the stuff that they've already gone over, which is what they did at the New York Comic Con. I assume it's going to be going over the same stuff and not another Secret Lair Marvel drop, but we will see if there's new stuff there or not. It's going to be very interesting to see how exactly, like, if there is any different. It says upcoming Secret Lair drops, but then that could be just going over like the super drop, and they just like talking about each drop individually, but we'll see. So what do you guys think? What are you guys most excited for about next year, between the sets that I talked about here? I said obviously Spider-Man is probably the one I'm most excited for, and then I think it's probably a match between Tarkir and Lorwyn. I don't know, like, absolutely huge dragons and everything. Really, I love dragons and, you know, the whole Khans and stuff along those lines. But then I also love the idea of like how they kind of remix up Lorwyn, and kind of like the mixture between like the kind of synergizing between that Lorwyn lore and then the Shadowmoor, and then them both being combined together and stuff. There's some really cool stuff here. So let me know what you guys think. Have a great day and goodbye.